as per the brilliant idea of Lady C, and no sarcasm intended, Cheryl, when I said brilliant.
It happens
Some,
once in a while.
yeah, you know me. I'm not sarcastic at all.
Not? Then how do I take that? No kidding.
No, you're not sarcastic.
Ever. I know where you
No,
live.
Hello. Hi, Holly.
no, no.
There was
Sarcasm.
I don't know if you guys got The Kids in the Hall. I
Hmm.
used to watch it in the 80s, maybe part of the 90s, but there was the sarcastic guy. But he really didn't mean to be sarcastic, but that was part of the skit. And
Yeah.
and the other guy, I'm crushing your head.
Cliff in your head. Cliff
Yes.
in your
They
head. Yeah.
still do that. I've never seen it. Like squish, 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 squish. I think I
I'm
went around
crushing
Disney one
your
day filming myself going squish, squish to everybody.
Cliff in your head.
the
Cliff in your head.
and the chicken lady once exploded while she
Oh
was
yeah.
riding one of those mechanical things in the mall. And
Hmm.
oh yeah, it's just they were so good.
I
They
didn't see
seemed to
that.
be very innovative.
What was that, the
Yeah.
90s?
Hmm?
What was
Yeah.
that?
Late 80s, early 90s.
I was watching
I
like
think it.
Celebrity Deathmatch and stuff. Did you ever see
Belle
that?
Biv DeVoe.
Did you ever see
Belle.
Celebrity Deathmatch?
Oh
The little
yeah,
TV
that was
show?
awesome.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that was fun. The things that amuse us. I don't know. But
Yeah, you do. You do.
I
You
was
think
watching
you
my
don't, but
dog. Yeah, I was watching my dog and he's like chewing near his tail. And I'm like, no, you're not supposed to do that. And then all of a sudden he like did a somersault and I was like, what happened? And
ah,
I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm laughing
I
at you.
I think it uses the wrong microphone. I'm
that sounds great.
thinking.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It sounds perfect. Thank you,
Oh,
Rolf.
okay.
I appreciate it. The viewers will appreciate it. The neighbors won't, but it's
We don't care.
appreciated. Yes, that's right.
They need to listen anyways.
So you
Yes.
you can hear me good like this?
Mhm.
Yes, much
Yes.
better. Thank you. Much better. Yay. Wow, I don't believe in just a few minutes, seven minutes or so, we're beginning.
7 minute warning.
Wow.
Thank you. Sorry.
Perhaps you'd like to do a reading from, I don't know, pick a Poe tale, Cheryl.
No, I don't know them all. And the ones freak me out that I do remember.
I was 8, 9 years old. I had, I think, chicken pox, not German measles, chicken pox. And my dad got me a collection of Edgar Allan Poe stuff. So I'm laying in bed reading Telltale Heart. And
Ooh.
he knew I loved stuff like that too. I used to get the Universal Monster magazines back then. And I knew everything, all trivia from the Universal Monsters.
All right. Okay. The Edgar Allan Poe one, I think it was The Gallows. Is that the one with the cat?
I'm not sure.
Where
Holly
he,
would know though.
Yeah, there's one called The Black Cat. Yeah, that's really
Yes,
good. It's
where
one
he
of my
like
yes.
favorites.
where he like took out the eyes of the cat.
Yeah,
Oh
yep,
yeah.
Black Cat.
Yeah, that's why I don't care to read stuff like
Yeah, like
that.
don't get me wrong, like I'm a cat lover. Like obviously you guys know I'm a crazy cat lady. But yeah, the
A
Black Cat,
Podeck.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's good,
Wow.
but I just
Yeah,
no.
it's unnerving. Yeah, it's I mean it's definitely that's probably one of his strongest scenes in any out of everything he's done.
Cool.
Hey, Telltale Heart cards, Tommy.
Yeah,
Is,
wow.
is
But
that a whole deck based on that? Oh, I see. It's the collection. Okay, it's a book. I
little.
thought it was a deck of cards.
It
No,
looks
it's a book smaller than a deck of cards. Uh, it only has four. It has the Raven, Chosen Heart, Attack of Amontillado and the Mass of the Death.
Yes. For pole
And yeah,
lovers on the go, you could
that,
slip it into your
and,
pocket.
and this is my bookmark.
Oh,
Oh, I
cool.
love that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. You realize, and this is for Holly, I believe it may be August, I forget, I don't have my list handy. We're doing like a Poe month, and hopefully yourself and your other friends that I'm having on each week will read. And I know you don't like your voice,
Oh,
but
you what? You do not want to hear me read.
it
Read it for you,
well,
Holly. I'll read it
I
for
I have heard your voice, it's fine.
That's what I
But you
did with
know,
that poetry reading. I picked the shortest poem. I did Dream Within a Dream, like the shortest poem I could find, or alone.
like a
well,
haiku.
that's fair enough. You know, two of the best audios I've heard is that I think his name is Steven. He's a friend of yours, maybe, and
Oh
he
my goodness, I'm obsessed with him. Yeah,
right,
Stephen
right,
Smith.
he's
Yeah,
really good.
he's
And
very good.
then Micah's interpretation,
Yes, he does the
just
Raven.
amazing.
Yeah, Micah's Raven. The Raven is amazing.
Yes. Yes. Did he have some kind of affliction, Poe? And Micah was working that in, or was that just Micah's interpretation?
Well, so Micah does it in a straitjacket as part of he
Yeah.
does like a night of Poe every year around
Okay.
October. So he actually recites the poem while he escapes from a straitjacket. I've seen
Wow.
obviously he's in California, I'm here on the East Coast, but I've seen the videos of it and it looks insane. I can't even imagine the energy it must be like to see that in like real life.
Absolutely.
Definitely a
And
bucket list item.
I'm blessed enough to have him include me in that. I've given him a video every year, probably the last 3 years. I actually sent one of them to you, Holly,
Yes, I loved it.
right? And there's another one. It's like a haunted little spirit cabinet as well. I may send that one to you as well if I remember. That
Oh,
was the
please do.
first one. It's really cool. Manifestations happen. So, for those of you guys on Facebook that have joined us, I better first live stream before I talk to nobody. So, let's go live on Facebook.
Are you calling
I
us
j-
nobody?
I jumped the gun a little bit. This is very silly. Very silly indeed. Being disintegrated makes me very angry. Very angry indeed. Nobody remembers that? Anybody? You know we're going live on Facebook, so that's too intimidating.
This reminds me of the shoe from Roger Rabbit.
Oh yeah, I
Reading.
love that. That was a very clever movie.
Loved it. Except for the
There
shoe.
we go. There we go. For those of you who have just joined us live on Facebook, welcome. We're almost getting ready. Well, we are getting ready to start the show in about a minute or so. And we've been doing the pre-show chat, pre-show banter as per Lady C, Cheryl's suggestion, which I think is really cool. And let's just do this now. Are you excited about this week's show, Cheryl?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Look who we have this week. It's Rolf Haecker, and I can't wait to find out more about him. And we will do that in just a minute or so. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yay! You may remember me from my television shows in the 1980s and 90s, and now I host two regularly live streamed virtual magic shows. One is a showcase for some of the greatest magicians in the world, and the other is a talk show featuring some of the most inspiring conjurers of our times. Welcome now to Magical People. Here we are. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Magical People Live. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Michael Ike, and we have.
Lady C, hello everybody.
Hi, Lady C. Thank you so much for joining us as well this week. And I want to give a special welcome to our guest this week, Mr. Rolf Haecker. Thank you, Rolf, for joining us.
Thank you.
I've admired for some time being a few years anyway. I'm familiar with some of your magic from the Open Mic Magic Show when it was called Open Mic Magic Show. Now it's Open Mic Magic Theater every Wednesday on Facebook. You guys look it up and attend if you can. And also, there used to be the Tuesday night Magic Theater, which I loved as well. And I must say, I've enjoyed your magic. Have you enjoyed being a part of the crew?
Yeah, certainly. I'm usually just an amateur magician, a hobbyist, but I learned a lot of people, made friends all over the world, and so I got more and more involved into the Magic Society, and also that means I also had to participate and to show something.
Absolutely. One of the things I love about it is the camaraderie of the Wednesday get-togethers as well. And the fact, as you just said, is it's magicians, be they hobbyists or pros from all over the world. And it's neat to get their different take, if you will, their different approach to magic. And I'm just wondering, I did prepare a couple of questions for you because they popped into my head a little bit earlier. Technology, and I know you've kindly agreed to share an effect with us in a few minutes, live as well. I've got a couple of videos as well of you. Um, has technology affected either your presentations? Has it enhanced anything? Have you worked it in? Or maybe it hasn't affected you at all as a magician. Tell me.
Well, I guess you could say so. I'm from the education, I'm a physicist. I got a Master's of Science in Physics from Oregon State University, then a diploma and a PhD from Stuttgart University. And then after that, there was wasn't that much need for physicists anymore. So I ended up in information and communication technology, and especially doing information security for more than 30 years now. And for me, magic is, well, physics helps me in understanding some of the principles of magic. And also, for me, magic is a means of conveying ideas of cybersecurity because I think cybersecurity is very important. We can talk about that in a minute if you want.
Yes.
And but nobody likes to hear things about cybersecurity because we all have enough or too much security until this moment where we see that we don't have enough. And so if it's possible to convey the message of cybersecurity with some fun, with magic, with people having a good time and remembering it in a good mood, then I think we can achieve a lot.
Absolutely. Now, you did bring out something to share with us. I usually don't impose on our guests to show anything live, which is why I prepare videos, but I'm excited to see what you're going to share with all of us because I think there's a technology slant to it. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I would tell you a little bit about a firewall. The principle of a firewall, you might know, comes from a building. It's a sturdy wall, mostly outside or between different sections of the building where fire can't get through that easy. Of course, it might have holes or openings where we humans can pass. Usually we have doors there. Now, in information security, the concept of the firewall is also, it's like on the border between the outside, which is meant to be the internet, where all the attackers might be, and the inside, network where you have your data and your computers, which you want to have undisturbed and protected somehow. So the firewall does some sort of sorting of messages, like if you get emails that might be infected, maybe let's call those say the black cards are the evil ones and the red ones are the good ones we want to have. So the firewall does some sorting for us and has maybe all the black ones here and the red ones there. Okay, now if I turn this a little down so you can see it. I put here black one, red one, black one, red one, black one, red one. We go like this, and then just like Mika does with the wiggly fingers, do some abracadabra, and the firewall has them all sorted up for us again.
I love it.
Okay, so what we do, I could even show you. I put the fan in here and there and there. Can you see it? It's interleaving by one. We push it together, do the wiggly fingers, and abracadabra, firewall has it sorted. So that's one of the jobs of our firewall. And the other is it acts like kind of a filter. I have this hole in here, and I have made it so that the red card, which we want, can pass through here or there. So easily see like this. But the bad card with the virus, which I made slightly bigger, see, won't fit through here. Okay? No way. But now comes the problem. The firewall consists of hardware that's usually your PC or some server or some special dedicated hardware, which is then called appliance. And it has lots of software, programs in it. And software does have errors. If you code, you might have 5 to 6 errors per 1,000 lines of code. You can do it very, very carefully. You have lots of people checking and getting what you're doing. Then you might come down to 1 or 2 errors per 1,000 lines of code, which you might do if you want to do space science and construct rockets and so on. But for all the other things, nobody does this effort. And then you think, well, 5 to 6 errors, that's not much. But software is big, it's huge. It has millions lines of code, so it has thousands of errors. Now, what if someone finds an error and can use it to make an exploit? An exploit to tell your firewall, let this card go through. It's just like in Star Wars, those are not the droids you're looking for. And so if they have a so-called zero-day exploit, that's an exploit that has been known for 0 days. That means not at all. And that means your vendor of your firewall doesn't know about it, so he can't send you an update of the software and fix the problem. And then what might go that this should not go through. However, if we have an exploit, it will go through. Now, I'd like to show you that, but I guess, Dr. Michael, you wouldn't have a 0-day exploit for a paper firewall with you, would you?
No.
No. So neither do I. So what we do instead, we use a little magic, So usually I would have a spectator here, give them a magic wand, tell them, well, of course, if we're attacking a firewall, that's highly illegal. And you're not supposed to do this. But here in a controlled environment and just for instructional purposes, we might get through with it. However, I would prefer to wear my anonymous mask so nobody can. I would hand you one as well. But anyway, now we do, that. Let's do the magic spell, hack, hack, hack. Okay, just try it. You say it, Lady C and Dr. Michael.
Hack, hack, hack.
Okay, we can do better. Do again.
Hack, hack, hack.
Okay, you see what happens? what happens here is
Whoa.
suddenly the firewall does a little metamorphosis, and here
Whoa.
from back and front, this passes through.
Whoa.
Although firewall is not broken, hole is not bigger than before, but somehow, with the help of your magic, thank you, it went through. And therefore, I am convinced technical measures alone won't help us to get the necessary cybersecurity. We also need the awareness of people like us who keep an eye open, who are suspicious, who think this doesn't look right, it's too good to be true, so better double check before I click there, better ask again before I send $3 million to some place because this email says your boss is telling you you have to. So
Exactly.
that's about just to illustrate the idea how I use magic to explain concepts like firewalls from which are important for cybersecurity and to get people involved.
Awesome. See, I find that very enchanting and clever. And when I first saw you do that a couple of weeks back, couple of months back on probably Open Mic Magic Theater every Wednesday on Facebook, I thought there is something kind of original. There is, and it's hard to find. It's hard to find not so much magicians, but magic that is relevant. And that is, and it gets people thinking as well. I'm wondering, I think I will go to one of your online performances and probably the third one where you're with Scott Wells or someone has selected Scott Wells. Everybody watching
I
and
have a prediction here. I have a deck of cards there. And at any time when you feel, you just tell me to stop.
And two more. 1, 2, and stop.
Here?
Yeah.
So this is your card, right?
Sure. 9 of hearts.
9 of hearts. Here is my selection in this wallet. See?
9 of hearts.
9 of hearts, and there's no other card in here.
Very good.
Thank you very much. You stopped at the right card. You have the magic fingers. Thanks, guys.
Great.
That's it.
I love that. I only saw it recently when I was doing some research, and I thought we have to share that on the Saturday show. Because not just because you did a great job, it looked so honest. It probably was. Most people watching this will be magicians, but I still don't want to tip anything just in case non-magicians are watching on Facebook. But that was so well done. That seemed so honest and smooth. And I like Scott Wells, who we really need to see more of because he does an online thing. He goes to conventions and interviews folks. Um, at that point, Rolf, I'm just wondering. I'm actually going to ask you something that I love. I'm partial to wallet effects, and I used to collect all different kinds of magic wallets, and some of them just look normal. Nowadays, they look like just regular I guess hip pocket wallets, you'd call them. Many of them were that format from the Old West or England as well, where they'd be kind of longish and fit into your pocket. Do you like wallet effects? Was that just a means to an end? Where do you stand with that?
Well, I do like wallet effects, but I haven't done a lot of them yet. So it's just it happened that I had one at hand, and I thought, well, maybe it's a good idea to show this because I haven't shown it before. And so I don't want to repeat the same thing every time. And so I should better keep track when did I do what in which show. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I like them. It just adds an extra element to a regular card effect. I love working in various props and stuff. And I almost thought, and you gave me this idea, it's a very standard effect where a card vanishes, a selected card vanishes, and it's signed as well by the spectator and appears in an envelope in the wallet. And I think that's really cool. I think Cheryl knows I do a version of it, but it's not a signed card, but it ends up in a wallet. It looks pretty cool. Cheryl, I want to not ignore you. Questions for Mr. Hiker?
I do have a question. Now, you combine your knowledge of the cybersecurity with the magic. Have you ever thought of teaching it to kids that way? Like almost professionally, or
Well, to be honest, not really. And I wasn't aiming to kids. I wasn't asked for giving a show for them. I was giving talks at various occasions where cybersecurity companies wanted me to give a talk in between of their events where they have their customers there, or in January, the Chaos Computer Club of Stuttgart, it does a regular meeting with the library in Stuttgart where they have talks and shows about security or IT related topics. And they needed a speaker for January. So I volunteered and said I can give a talk about cybersecurity illustrated by magic. And they liked it. They also recorded it, put and put it on YouTube, but we haven't used it for clips here because it's in German, and so we would have had to translate it, and that it's not the same then. And so I'm also using a plot where I do have a prediction, and then someone from the audience does something, and then we get a match. And then I say, well, we are not sure if I made a good prediction of what you would do today, or if you got a sense what I wrote down yesterday and were somehow influenced. But for our demonstration, it doesn't really matter what the cause is. It's just if there's a relation between what you think and what I thought, then for this trick, it doesn't matter. But if you have this, when you try to find a safe password and someone else can guess it, you might run into a problem. And they're saying, therefore, are security guidelines for passwords. And you might have to think about how to find one, and a good one. And it's hard to remember it. And therefore, it's suggested that you think of a little story, like make a sentence, can be a ridiculous sentence, can be grammatically false, but it has to be such that you can remember it, and then you take the first letter of each word or the first two and sort of combine them, and then you have some sequence that you can easily remember.
I
And
never
so
thought.
that's a thing, where you can connect the requirement for being independent and not readable with a practical application, having a secure password.
I never thought of doing it that way. Now I have to rethink everything. But I think you would be wonderful if you went to like computer clubs and talked to kids, adults too, because we're all in the same boat with cybersecurity. I
Yeah.
think you'd be wonderful doing that, showing kids, especially combining the two. Wow. So is there an effect that you would like to do that you haven't done yet in magic wise?
Well, sure. What do you mean? Something?
And if you've seen somebody do a magic effect, is that something that you've said, hey, I would love to try to do that, but you just haven't done it yet?
Well, there's lots of stuff where I've seen people perform things, and like every magician, I bought tons of books and tricks, and then you take him home, and then there's something else you have to do, and there's this and there's that, and then you go to some other convention and buy again. And now I'm in a book reading club when we do some reading, so at least we get some of the classic lectures books read. And so there's lots of things I'd like to do and to do better and to learn and improve, but that's usual doing for every magician.
Do you have a favorite, I want to say prop? Like some people do the cards, some people use rope. Is there a favorite one that you like to work with?
Well, most of the time I'm using cards, but I will also go into coins. I do have some things I do with ropes, and I have I developed some special cards for one of my routines, those which you
Ooh,
can't buy anywhere. So it's sort of original. It's not a new magic trick, but it's a special application of a traditional principle.
those cards. Were you prepared to show us something with those cards that you just showed me?
I could, of course. It's in information security, there's certain threats, like there's cyber spying. There could be people who want to know uh, what your data is, or if you are a company, have secrets where others could make millions if they have it, or billions, they might try to steal it. Or if there's war, then whatever, there's threats. Then there's some cyber sabotage, like Viber or logic bombs, that people try to disturb your IT and to make it not work anymore. Or just something like called DDoS attacks, which is distributed denial of service. That is, if I go to your server and ask it for certain things, and maybe I do it a little tricky, so it's not conform to the standards, and it a little confuses the server a little, then it's more busy than usual. And if I don't do it just from my computer, but from hundred thousands or millions of distributed computers, then your server gets so busy it can't answer the regular requests anymore, and then you won't sell anything in the internet. That's
Mm.
called a distributed attack. And so it's hard to defend, because if it would be just me, you could block me. But if there are hundred thousands of clients doing the same thing, you can't block 100,000 at the same time without blocking your customers. And then you could train your people by measures like phishing simulation. Phishing means it comes from password phishing. If I send you an email and it looks like I'm your bank, and I say, well, you have to enter your PIN here, and we will provide a better service. And of course, you never enter your PIN, but some people do, and or your password, and then I know your password. Okay. And I could do phishing simulation. That is, I have a company that's sending my organization emails and checking if somebody clicks on that. And then I know, the people will get a message. Oops, that could have been worse, but it's just part of the training program. Be more careful next time, sort of. So people learn something. Or we can do security awareness by magic, what I would suggest that you just showed you, or some e-learning where you go through material and you learn about what to do and what not to. Now here I flipped the camera down. You see, here we have certain threats, and those are measures to reduce the risk for those threats. So which category would you select? The threats or the measures?
The measures.
The measures. Good. So we take away the threats. And from those measures, we have to eliminate two. We want to just keep one on the desk. Which one should I eliminate?
The one on the right.
On your right,
You're right.
my right. Phishing simulation.
Yeah.
So we eliminate fishing simulation. One more,
And the one on your left.
e-learning.
Yeah.
So you sure want to change your mind?
No, I'm going to keep it.
You want to keep it. You selected security awareness by magic. I would have guessed that, I knew you would keep security awareness by magic. I'll show you those. Those don't have any
Oh,
predictions.
wow.
Wonderful.
And then I could do the story I just told you before, that be careful with your password.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I have a question. You do not have to answer, but is there anything that people don't know about you?
I don't know what people know about me and what they don't know. So how could I answer that?
How about
Want to know about me?
us? How about wait, okay, how did you get into cybersecurity?
Well, um, there were no jobs in physics, so I applied for a job at the computer center of the state of Baden-Württemberg, and it wasn't about IT security, encryption and stuff. And so first I had to do this, and then I got different job opportunities rising up the ladder, but still always had information security in within my realm. And I was at this computer center. Then I was at the Department of Interior, and there I was also a Chief Information Security Officer for the state of Baden-Württemberg. And then I switched to the state parliament of Baden-Württemberg and was the chief information security officer there until October last year. And then that's where I finished. Now I'm officially retired, but I'm still doing a little security because I'm an auditor for information security systems like ISO 27001, and people can, apply for certificate if their organization is working according to the rules of the ISO. And then they go to an certification organization, and this organization will send auditors like me who will go there and say, let me see your processes, let me see your papers, and I'll check if this fits together and if you're working according to the norm. And then they get a certificate. And so it's fun. We help them to improve their processes, and they are happy to get their certificate. And I don't have to do this every day. So last week I was in Switzerland and close to Munich. And next week I will be gone for 2 days. But then there's a little time where I don't have to do audits.
Oh, wow. So you like retirement?
Yes, I like it. I have now a little more time to look into magic and to do some things in the house and so on.
Oh, that is awesome. I That's it from my portion. So
Awesome. Thank
Dr.
you.
Light.
Thank you, Lady C. I have a question or three as well, which I don't think we tackled, influences. And I've found throughout most magicians' lives, they're influenced by various performers, famous people, perhaps not. In the first quarter of their life, then in the next section of their life, other performers come along. Um, do you have any famous or otherwise people, magicians perhaps, who have influenced your style of performing or your general attitude about magic?
Yeah, well, I I met people like Jean Farquhar and Howard Hamburg, and I had private Zoom sessions with Howard, and he taught me a lot, and I bought some of his books, his D Notes and his Mystical 13, which is a nice card effect, and which I really like. And he has clipped, I do have when I do have a box of cards with me, then I just show you. There's a little thing here, which doesn't take much space, but it's a paper clip,
Yes.
And then you can do a special card trick. We might do this some other time, but so I can do something with people here and amaze them. And Howard showed me how to do it, and I bought his book and so on. That was really nice. And I enjoy talking to people like Jean Farquhar, like you, like Kevin, like all the bunch of magicians. And I think it's very impressive that we can exchange on eye level. I can talk with world-class magicians, and if I tell them, well, why are you doing it this way and not that way, and wouldn't it be better? And then they say, well, let me think about it. Yes, you might be right. I'll check that. And so, see, this is an honor for me because I'm just a hobbyist. And although I'm a physicist, so I do sometimes have a different look at things, and diversity helps if you get feedback. And so I'm feeling good in company of the Magic Friends, and I participated first. It was, I think, about 5 years ago during Corona, when the International Brotherhood of Magicians, where I've been a member for many years, decided to have the meeting on Zoom. They said, well, we won't cancel the meeting like last year. We won't have a real meeting because of Corona, but we do one on Zoom. And so it was the threshold to participate was lower for me because I didn't have to travel to the United States and stay at a hotel and so on, spend a lot of money and to do who knows what. I didn't know any people there. And so I got to know people during this Zoom session, and they told me, well, there's virtual groups like the one from Kevin Peel and from Tommy Burnett and some others. And so I got to know people. I got to know reading clubs. I had a lot of magic friends around the world. And then they asked me if I would contribute to an article in the Linking Ring, the journal of the IBM. And then I said, well, yes. And people there complained, ooh, just a Zoom meeting. And I said, well, for me, it was great because otherwise I wouldn't have attended. And I liked it so much that next year in Atlanta, I will attend. And so it happened. Since then, I'm traveling to the States every year in July, attending the Magic Meeting, which will be in Texas, in Houston, Texas this year. And before and after, I will meet some friends and uh, stay a couple days there. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. What an honor it is to have you be a part of the Magic fraternity. You really do add so much. Rolf, you're appreciated. Say folks want to get in touch with you, maybe for a show, maybe for a consultation of sorts. How can they?
Well, the easiest would be send me an email, which is rolf.haecker, ROLF. You see it here uh, on my frame. And Haecker is written Haecker. Like the people you don't want to have in your PCs. So some of my colleagues were jealous that I had this name, which was pretty good for information security, at web.de, rolf.hacker@web.de. Just send me an email and tell me what you're interested in, and then we'll figure it out.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I want to thank you so much for joining us this day. And I'm sure we've only touched, I say this a lot, the tip of the iceberg. I feel there's a lot more that we're going to learn from you in the future. And Cheryl, let's thank Rolf and
Thank you.
because I don't want to take up much more of your time, Rolf, to be honest, and you're really appreciated.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you soon, Ralph.
See you.
Bye.
Wow. I love his approach to magic,
Oh,
involving cybersecurity, etc. Isn't that cool?
I I love it. I could learn so much just by watching him and doing the magic with it better than any teacher could ever teach me.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
absolutely true. And I missed my opportunity to hang out with him. He actually came to Vancouver a few months ago and contacted me. And it's like, oh, that was the busiest week. The worst possible time. I had absolutely no time to hang out with him. But he saw Sean, who's my neighbor, Sean Farquhar, and I believe he went to Hidden Wonders, Sean's little theater, his little speakeasy, and well, I'm going to resolve, Cheryl, to see him when he is back in Vancouver.
Yep, next time, next time.
You betcha. And I want to thank you, Shirley. You always add so
Thank
much
you.
to the show. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your questions and your insight as well.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
And looks like we've just about come to the end of our little show. We are here every Saturday, 1 p.m. LA time, 4 p.m. New York time, 9 p.m. UK time, and we do this for you. We don't do it for anybody else. We do it for your pleasure and for your enjoyment. A little reminder, coming up in just a few days, this Friday, June 6th, is my Friday Night Wizard Emporium. We've got tons of guests on that. And as always, it's free. Just check my Facebook page, MAJICK, magic.mike.likey, to find out how you can participate, how you can join the show, watch the show, and get your Zoom link as well through me. That's it. I think I've said enough, and I've been told that as well. I maybe speak too much. So I want to thank you all once again for joining us this day, and we'll see you all really soon. Thank you.